What is up, guys? Today we're working on a different car, one that has not been on the channel so far. This is the 99 Toyota Camry. I believe it's the LE version, and it's the 4-cylinder 2.2 engine. I'll show you in a second. The hood is actually from that Camry right there, because this one was in an accident and the bumper and the hood had to be replaced, and I had this one that's going to the junkyard, so I just swapped them for now. But this is the one that we're going to be working on today. We are going to be replacing the PCV valve, which stands for positive crankcase ventilation, and I'll tell you in a second what that is. And also the valve cover gasket, including the spark plug tube gaskets, because it's leaking oil a little bit over here, or well, on the front left side of the engine, and one of the spark plug tube seals is going bad actually because there's oil in there. So this definitely needs replacement. This, not really, but it may help with oil consumption. It doesn't actually consume much oil, but just preventative maintenance. So let's get started. Alright, so after we've popped the hood, this is the engine bay of the Camry that we'll be working on. This here is the PCV valve, which stands for positive crankcase ventilation. So basically what it does is it takes air from the crankcase, which is right under the valve cover, puts it through this little valve here. I know that when these are clogged, it can cause the car to burn oil because it doesn't allow for the proper ventilation. It basically regulates the pressure between the crankcase and the intake. So this is, I think, $3 on Rock Auto, so, or even at AutoZone or something like that, it's probably $4 or $5. So it's nothing expensive, but it is a good preventative maintenance to do if you don't want your car to start burning oil. So just pick one up and replace it. It's not that difficult. I'll show you in a second how to do it. Alright, so here's a more overhead view of the engine block. This is where it's leaking from the valve cover gasket. Not a big deal, a little bit here too. Cylinder number 2 is the one that is leaking into the spark plug tube, so we're gonna fix that as well. But this here is the PCV valve. It's connected by a little vacuum hose to the intake, and it comes out of the crankcase. So I'll just get a pair of pliers and pull this off. There we go, just pull really hard on it and it should come out, wiggle it out of place. Now you want to break this seal loose here, or not the seal, but sometimes it can get stuck on, and as you see, there's a good amount of oil on here. So maybe it was not a bad idea to replace this. Here's the new one, and all you do, put this back in here, and shove this back into the hole. Maybe give it a couple taps so it can go in, or not. Maybe put the bottom in first. Come on. Of course, now that I'm filming, it's giving me a hard time. Alright, and then this should just slide into the vacuum hose, and in it goes. Here and here, and that's it. You're done. The PCV valve is replaced. Now let's do the valve cover. And actually I should not have put this in because now we have to take it out for the valve cover gasket. So to take the valve cover off, you will need to take off what we just put on. So don't be me and don't do this. If you're replacing both at once, keep this off. Now you'll need to remove the spark plugs, the spark plug wires. So just pull on them and they should just come out. As you can see, this one has a little bit of oil here. Don't want to pull too hard, so if it's giving you a lot of trouble, just unhook it from the clips. And you'll want to disconnect them from here. You'll want to disconnect all other hoses that are connected to the valve cover. So this, just pull this out. Now I don't know if anything else needs to be removed Oh, I think we have to remove these two hooks so that we can get better access to the valve cover. Don't forget to put this back when you're done, because this is the ground connection for the engine. And now, all you need is a 30mm socket, because this valve cover is not held in by bolts that are around it, but by the spark plug tubes. They have thread on the outside, and you basically thread on these pieces of plastic, I believe, on top, and that's what holds the valve cover on. So you want to get your 30mm socket and your ratchet, and then just twist them, and it should break loose. They shouldn't be on very tight. If they're on very tight and you need a breaker bar, I would be concerned. Actually, I was wrong. They're not plastic. They're metal. So that's good. So just twist these off. Now the valve cover is loose. Now just take these spark plug tube seals out. So just carefully pull this up. Oh, okay, this screw here is in the way, so you're gonna have to remove it. It's a 10mm. So get yourself a wrench and loosen this up. All right, once you get that loose, carefully pull this up. Oh, there we go. If you wiggle it just a little bit, you'll get it off. Now you want to get yourself some paper towels and very, very carefully remove all of this dirt that is here. Make sure you, as you pull towards you, pull up towards the outside so that you basically remove it and let it fall into the engine bay. And then fold the paper towel over and just keep doing that until you get all the dirt. Any old gasket material that may still be there, remove that too, because we want a nice clean surface when we install the new gasket. Once the paper towel gets dirty, make sure to get a new one, and just keep repeating this process until it's all clean. An extra step that you can take to clean is just use some brake cleaner. And no, do not apply it straight to there, but apply it to a piece of paper towel or a shop towel or something like that, and then wipe the surface down with that, and that should remove any oil that's still left in there. Alright, so now that we've cleaned the valve cover, or the engine block part, we need to clean up the valve cover, especially up around here. So, and this is actually the old seal. Alright, so I got a flathead screwdriver just to start peeling this up. Hopefully it comes off easily. And then the rest, hopefully I can peel by hand. There we go. Now it's coming out. So just carefully peel it off, make sure nothing breaks in there. Now this part is nice and clean, but I will hit it with some brake clean. This gasket is very old. It's actually starting to crack at some points here on the side, as you can see. And no, this is not where I pried it. So, look, it's starting to break as I twist it. So this rubber is definitely done. It's a very good time to change it. This is a little bit sludgy in here, which is concerning, but the engine still runs great. It only has 105,000 miles or 6,000 miles on it, so that's not an issue. So let's get this cleaned up and put the new gasket back in. Alright, so now that we have everything all cleaned up, we can go ahead and open this package, take the valve cover gasket out, and then start laying it down carefully. Make sure your hands are clean, or you're wearing gloves. So just press it into this groove. It should fall into place easily. And there you have it. This is now replaced. So let's go put it back on the engine. Alright, so let's go ahead and put it back on. So now carefully place it back over the spark plug tubes. Make sure the gasket doesn't fall out of the groove. And once you've found its spot, it should just slide right on. Make sure no wires or stuff like that get caught in here. So double check the hole area. Maybe stick your hand back there just to make sure you can follow the groove easily. Push any wires out of the way. And now we get our new spark plug tube seals. I also stuck a paper towel down here while I had the cover off, and I cleaned out all the dirt that was there. So put these on. Make sure you put them on the right way. Obviously there's no order, they're all the same, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so now that the valve cover is back on, we take our little big bolts. Make sure you don't have any dirt on your gloves. And hand tighten them for now. Alright, so now that they're all hand tight, we can go ahead and find out the torque so we can torque them down. Alright, so I just read online on multiple websites that 17 foot-pounds is the right torque for it. So let's tighten those down with a ratchet and then get the torque wrench out and torque them down. Now I'm going to start slow, and I'm going to start with the middle ones, and I'm just going to give each of them a few turns. That way they get torqued down evenly. Alright, so now that I have them snug, I'm going to take out the torque wrench and try to torque them down. And the reason I say try is because this torque wrench, I think, starts at 20 foot-pounds. Actually, no, it starts at 10 foot-pounds, but it's not very precise when it's at such low torque. Alright, so now that we have all of this torque down to 20 foot-pounds, I'm going to stick the spark plug socket down in there just to see if I get any oil on it, because I know that there is some oil in there. Yep, just as I thought. There's oil in there, so I'm gonna take the spark plug out. Alright, there we go. That's the spark plug right there. Doesn't look too bad, but it does have some oil on it, and whoa, that's a lot of oil. Alright, I'm gonna go clean that up. Alright, so now we can start putting everything back, such as this. You can start putting this. If you took any other connections off, make sure you put them all on, because these are all important. So if you forget one, your car will either not run right or possibly not even start. Get them nice and snug. Finally, don't forget about this little bolt that we have to move here, because this actually holds the timing belt cover. So you want this one to be tight. Don't make it crazy tight though, because this is just plastic. So now we can put the spark plug wires back on. Oh, actually, don't forget about this. This here and the PCV, which I'll put after the plug wires. Alright, let's put the PCV back on. This has a little tab here, which goes right in between these two, so make sure you position it correctly. Now you want to tighten the hose clamp down. There we go. I believe this is everything. Just double check any other hoses, connections, so that you're sure that you didn't unplug them by accident, or that they got, ripped out of the connector by accident. But this all seems good. Now just drive it for about 20 minutes or so, maybe 30 minutes, and then just double check the torque on the valve cover just to make sure it stayed there, and that after these gaskets got seated in, that it's retorqued and all is right. But this is pretty much it. So there you have it. This is how you replace the valve cover gasket and the spark plug tube gaskets on a 1999 Toyota Camry. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it was helpful. So let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments, and stay tuned for more videos.